I'm Melissa Johnson.
Hello, my name is Mason Morellis, and I am a senior year student in the exercise science program at Fresno State.
My name is Caesar Science.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Toy.
I'm Michelle Yang.
And this is an analysis of the Atkins nutritional approach.
Dr. Robert Atkins was a cardiologist who received his MD from Cornell University in 1955. He specialized in cardiology and complementary medicine through his residency with Columbia University, where he began to take a special interest with the effects of diet on cardiovascular health. In 1972, Dr. Atkins' Diet Revolution was first published. This publication would go down in history as the best-selling diet book, while also proving to be one of the most controversial dietary approaches. In his later years, Dr. Atkins created the Atkins Foundation along with his wife Veronica to conduct further research into metabolism, diet, and weight loss. Through the Atkins Foundation, the content of the Atkins diet has evolved greatly. The body relies heavily on carbohydrates for energy. This allows for surges of glucose in the blood at times of consumption, as well as low glycemic phases between meals. As a result, there is an increased rate of fat storage and greater difficulty in losing weight. This Atkins diet aims to provide the body with a fuel source that will promote fat mass being used as energy. There are 2 versions of the Atkins diet available on their website and differ slightly in the amount of daily carbohydrates allowed. The website has a survey that is structured to pick a plan that is sustainable for an individual. Each plan allows a progression of carbohydrates. With Atkins 20 plan, daily carbohydrate intake is increased by about 25 grams every few weeks until 100 grams is reached. The Atkins 40 plan differs in progression, based on the goals met by the individual. When the individual is within 10 pounds of their weight loss goal, they are advised to increase daily carbohydrate intake by 10 grams per week.
Today I'll be talking about fad diet marketing materials. Many celebrities such as Sharon Osbourne, Rob Lowe, and Kim Kardashian West have talked about using Atkins diet to lose weight in general or to rapidly shed postpartum fat storages. They even have an app that allows consumers to track their daily food consumption and steps taken for each day. This is very convenient for those who use their phone on a daily basis because it helps them understand where they are at in their diet and what is needed for their health. Not only do Atkins Diet sponsor celebrities and have apps to help put their diet on the market, but they also like to advertise their snack bars and their treats for those who like to indulge in their sweet cravings. They also have an easy-to-use manual and description of how Atkins diet work. Because of this easy and free diet marketing strategies that they have, it allows people to want to participate and join because it is so convenient for them, especially when they don't have enough time or money to invest in a diet. Next, I'll be talking about target population. Atkins diet targets population of those trying to lose fat, particularly television-consuming middle-aged women. Studies have shown that women are more dissatisfied with their current body image than men. About 46% of women feel this way, and only 30% of men do. Because of this, Atkins' marketing strategies are more geared towards women, especially in their choice of celebrity sponsors and their advertisement that they put up. Due to the diet being also free and requiring no exercise, it also caters to those who feel like they don't have enough money or time to invest to lose weight. So it makes an appeal to those who are trying to lose weight without having to count calories or offering any restrictions of carbohydrates. Because of this appeal that they have to the target population, it allows a lot of people to be able to join freely and participate in the Atkins diet.
With the near depletion of carbohydrate comes an alternative source of glucose. High glucagon levels ensure depletion of liver glycogen and promote conversion of protein and glycerol from fat to glucose through the process of gluconeogenesis. The breakdown of triglycerides results in glycerol and free fatty acids. Free fatty acids, when broken down further, lead to the accumulation of acetyl-CoA, which form ketone bodies due to the law of mass action. Ketone bodies also act as a source of fuel by being reconverted back to acetyl-CoA in other tissues. Because fat is being used as a primary fuel source, the body's ability to use fat stores as energy increases. The fat being used for energy comes from both fat stores and fat intake. Therefore, there is a decrease in fat mass. Additionally, amino acid gluconeogenesis provided by short-lived free amino acid pools and body proteins such as skeletal muscle consequently lead to a decrease in lean body mass, furthering weight loss. Consumption of carbohydrate leads to a release of insulin in response to increased blood glucose levels. This allows for rapid influx of glucose. The combination of excess glucose and insulin release signals lipogenesis, which is the storage of fat. Fat is in high abundance throughout the body, and as a fuel source, allows for steady maintenance of blood glucose concentration. Because fat from food intake and reserves in the body provide for a steady maintenance of blood glucose, rapid influx of glucose from carbohydrate can be avoided, therefore avoiding a gain of fat.
For those with pre-existing kidney disease or those who are at risk of developing kidney disease, these individuals should take caution before beginning protein-heavy diets due to the kidney's function of filtering excess proteins from the blood. This excess need to filter protein creates high strain on the kidneys, and this could lead to problems, of course. Elevated protein excretion and calcium excretion is notated in these individuals with high protein intake, and this was noted from studies done by various universities. This leads to an increased risk of kidney disease and the formation of kidney stones. These kidney stones can prove to be very painful and very ballistic to the lining of the urinary tract. High-protein diets also require more calcium to be processed and excreted due to the elevated levels of acids that are a byproduct of the protein consumption. And these acids must be buffered somehow. So this calcium will come from bones if unavailable elsewhere. Say if the individual is deficient in calcium or their diet is just not meeting the demands of the buffering process. So according to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, bone calcium depletion rate in those with high protein diets can be comparable to that of an individual who is currently battling osteoporosis. So this makes a high protein diet a very cautious. Let's take that again. This makes those with osteoporosis or who are at risk of osteoporosis This calcium depletion in bone stores leads to a decreased bone mass, which is a critical issue, particularly for women at risk for osteoporosis or with a pre-existing condition of osteoporosis. For those with a sedentary lifestyle, the Atkins diet may also not be the ideal diet for you. So the Atkins diet claims that you don't need to exercise on their diet. And although we think this is poor advice no matter the diet, the key things to keep in mind with those who don't want to exercise or just, don't have the motivation to do so, an increased sodium and fat intake is going to increase blood pressure. And in a sedentary person, this can cause a concentric hypertrophic heart. So this is a dangerous mix of no exercise and increased blood pressure. Another thing to keep in mind with the Atkins diet is the possibility of a altered electrolyte concentration in the body, and this can initiate cardiac arrhythmias.
Critical appraisal. The Atkins diet puts no emphasis on caloric monitoring or restriction. In fact, the literature states that it is a misguided benefit of the diet, and one of the most famous quotes by Dr. Atkins was to eat right, not less. But in every health and physiology class I've had, we learned the only way to lose fat is by creating a calorie deficit. which is counterintuitive to this statement. There's insufficient research on the long-term effects on health benefits, or the lack thereof, for low-carb, high-fat diets, with the exception of one Swedish study we found where participants they compared a low-carb diet and a high-carb diet. And it was a long 25-year study done in Sweden, and after that time it was concluded that high-fat, low-carbohydrate diets increase levels of blood cholesterol. And on average, individuals that switched from lower-fat diets to higher-fat diets saw an increase in blood cholesterol over time, even despite using cholesterol-lowering medications. This diet also claims to allow individuals to maintain their lifestyle. However, depending on your diet prior to this, you might have to make drastic changes in your food choice, which could lead to very low adherence to the diet. From the low starting carbohydrate intake of the Atkins diet, it will initially deplete your liver glycogen stores, and at that point, gluconeogenesis will occur, tapping into non-carbohydrate sources to form oxaloacetate in order to mobilize fat for metabolism. And since there are no carbohydrates in the body, it will need a pull from the amino acid pool for energy, and there is no stored receptacle in the human body for protein. So the amino acids get pulled from skeletal muscle, and this can actually sway lean body mass in the direction of a higher fat percentage rather than being more lean. Atkins also claims that you will see results quickly, but we've been told time and time again, this is due to liver glycogen depletion and a huge initial percentage of water loss. The diet also requires you to eat very low glycemic index foods, and this is coming from a personal point, being a person that exercises. If you're exercising during this diet, trying to increase lean body mass, we have learned that an insulin spike heavily assists the repair to damaged muscle tissues, and low glycemic foods, this will be much less effective, meaning it will be harder to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. The athlete may experience fatigue in future bouts from the non-repaired damaged muscle tissue. The last point I would like to make in critical appraisal is again coming from an exercising perspective, and it's that lower carbohydrate intakes will never allow glycogen stores to fully replenish in muscle or liver, and over time this will actually decrease the capacity for your body to hold glycogen in those stores, and this means that the person will have a decreased anaerobic capacity. They will not be able to complete high strength movements or power movements. They will become easily fatigued over a short period of time, and in turn this might not allow them to protect themselves.
Would we recommend the Atkins diet, and if so, who to? We would not recommend this diet for the overweight population. So through studies, we have seen that the Atkins diet may change the overweight population's diet and weight for the first 6 months, but after 6 months to a year, there is no significant weight change, or even, we've seen an increase in weight due to a possible decrease in lean body mass, or just a rebound effect of going on such a drastically changing diet. Therefore, those who decide to implement the Atkins diet into their daily lives must truly get involved in exercise and, change their diet again after the 6 months to keep off or even lose more weight. For the obese population, we would be able to recommend something like the Atkins diet, strictly on the attempt to control refined carb intake and improve the lipid profile of these obese individuals. So the structure and discipline of adhering to a diet, specifically the Atkins diet, could be very beneficial to the obese population. But from what we've seen in studies, adherence to a diet like the Atkins diet is a huge obstacle for any fad diet. For all other populations, we would really recommend a more gradual diet change that is far less restrictive on the food sources that an individual can use to achieve a healthy calorie deficit. Reducing refined carbs and actually creating a structured calorie deficit instead of just simply saying eat as much as you can without the carbs. Would also heavily stress the role of exercise in weight loss due to its effect on metabolism, lean body mass, hunger systems, and overall systemic wellness.